little things like that.
You have a recycling lady in the house?
You take them back and probably bang you from the floor.
Exactly.
No, but it's things we need to. Yeah.
I think one thing that needs to be addressed also is the fact that banning or stopping people from using plastic bags in Gibraltar is not going to do a very great thing with respect to the bigger picture. But I mean, if one thinks I'll stop using plastic bags, but I'm taking 20 flights a year, the amount of carbon dioxide emitted by that person or that person's footprint is going to be huge. The thing that personally I would like to change by taking a small measure like this is to start making people aware of the environment. It's a way of getting the public involved. No? It's today I'll stop using plastic bags, tomorrow I might cycle to work, and it's all about character awareness and build-up. So it's not going to save the world, it will save the fauna, it will save us on money, but I think the most important thing is it will make the public interact and start taking steps to try and be a bit greener, which is the hardest thing.
Absolutely.
I think we should also focus on the way Gibraltar is moving ahead. You know, we are proud of all the, or some people are proud of all the development, the new, the stadium, the new ventures, the leisure center, the beautifying of the streets, the modern way ahead. But we seem to stay behind in areas like this one, where other places in Europe are moving very fast. So I think we should also come out publicly saying that Gibraltar has got to move with the times in things, in environmental areas as well, as obviously the ESG has now been at it for the last, at least what, 6 or 8 years, and now they're making inroads. We hope that our campaign will also make inroads, and gradually, you know, other things will start coming into place, like the bicycle riding, using less the cars, and making Gibraltar, putting Gibraltar in line with other nations which are considerably ahead of us. So yeah.
I'm from Ireland, and in Ireland plastic bags have been banned.
We know.
It was led by the government. So instead of throwing your efforts towards targeting groceries individually, perhaps targeting the government and just bringing in the law, and you'll have it done
across the board.
That's very well, what we are trying to do here in Gibraltar, you see, if government sees the private enterprise or the persons taking action on issues, here in Gibraltar is the other way around. I think that here the private sector and the public in general leads the government. When the government sees that measures are being popular, then they start looking at it in another light. So instead of going bang on to government, where we will get nowhere, and I know that from experience, we want to do a campaign so that the government sees that we mean business, the government sees that there is support for the idea, and we will reach a point where we think we are ready. We will then approach government to see whether they are prepared to introduce any kind of legislation.
If the Gibraltarian public take it on board, I think a good idea would be to take a petition. And if a good percentage of Gibraltarians don't think that it is a fruitless endeavor on our behalf, then that can be something.
Well, as we already talked in our committee meetings, this is something which is also in our agenda to do. I've been talking with the owner of, mentioned the name Ramsons, and I asked him whether he would be prepared to introduce a change, and he said, unless government takes a step, we won't do it. So we have this difficulty as well, you know. But if government it's like the question of the no smoking. If more restaurants and businesses now declare the premises smoking free, that will make the government accelerate the process. They're already doing it. The first thing they've done officially is the leisure center. They've made it completely smoking free. and alcohol free, which is
No.
a good thing. It's a starting point.
It's,
The same
it's
with
not
alcohol,
alcohol.
and especially for youngsters. Yeah.
Bueno. Fartará menos, ¿no? Que le vendan.
Yeah, but
Don't you think though, sorry, don't you think though there's a danger if certain, like you say, if certain private sector people take the initiative, that government will then say, well, it's already been done, we don't need to legislate on this?
No,
if it works, it works. No? What we want is the solution and not who takes the
At the
credit.
end of the
One way or the other,
at the end of the day, what we want is to hopefully make Gibraltar
Let's work
plastic
for us
bag
if
free.
they take it.
If that is done by the private sector and not through government, well, for us it's okay. But what this sort of campaign do is shame government. And if government sees that things are having a success, without them, then government will say, well, we cannot be left out of this. And they have to come in. So we'll see how it goes.
What you have is that the public and government is getting more used to campaigns such as this one. If 1 year you started with clean up the world. In Gond we've had our own different activities many years. Then you've got In Town Without My Car campaign. Now you've got this. There's similar campaigns such as the anti-smoking campaign and so on. And all these things together make the public and government more used to this sort of campaign.
Change of mentality.
Yeah.
Change of mentality, that's all it is.
It's also, I think, it's a good thing for Gibraltar also. I'd like to think of going to, if someone went to Montbury, it'd be quite refreshing to see that no shops would actually give you a plastic bag. I think it will be nice, and it will actually give us something to be proud of, because whenever we hear about Gibraltar, it's always on a negative slant environmentally nowadays with the recent new flame.
Part of that is by design, obviously.
Exactly, obviously, but it'd be nice, when tourists come over,
Oh, yeah.
if each shop says we do not hand out plastic bags, it's good. It's a good image to sell also for Gibraltar.
It's going to be difficult, but I mean, one thing which we could start telling merchants or owners of premises or restaurants or shops is to tell the staff to ask the clients whether they want a plastic bag, because immediately you buy something without automatically it goes into a plastic bag. Maybe the person who is behind the client is shy and doesn't want to say no, I don't want it. But if the shopkeeper tells the client, would you like a plastic bag? In many cases they will say okay, but they will start finding out people that say no. I mean, today I was at the pharmacy and the pharmacist there said, oh no, you don't want plastic bags. He took the things out of the plastic bag and gave them to me. Because they start knowing. So it's little by little.
It's surprising how much they insist. No, are you sure you don't want one? No, it's okay.
And
Fine, I've got my bag there. In Morrison's it's awkward because you might buy 3 or 4 items and you don't want a bag and you might not have taken your own bag. So you've got to leave the store with things in your hand and you're thinking, the store will take it. So I go waving my receipt.
But it's nice to see. I've seen now doing my shopping. I've seen some families which are starting to take their own bags. It's quite refreshing. It's very nice.
I've seen that in Morrison's behind me as well. People.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that we can call it a day. Thank you all very much for coming. We count on the PFC to help us when we need you. Thank you.
You want to collect our numbers or something?
No, I don't.